Hello, everybody. Getting everything all situated here so we can all have a nice chat. So I opened up the chat box. If you are tuning in, say hi, tell me where you're tuning in from, and make sure you can hear me okay. And I'm going to share my screen here. Slideshow going. We're going to talk all about how you can reach your family's financial, location, and time preference goals by starting your own bookkeeping business. I'm super excited about that. Let's see, let me share my screen here. All right. Indianapolis, and you can hear me. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Put a yes or a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can see my screen okay. Make sure you guys can see everything. And we're going to dive in here and get started in 1 second. Give everybody a few minutes to pop in. You know, we've got quite a few people on here already. Have you guys been on one of these webinars before? Yes or no? First time, okay. So it says Fire Tablet as your name. So I don't know who you are, but thank you for joining in. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everybody to our webinar. Thank you for joining me this morning. I am really excited to dive in with you and show you how you can take an exciting journey into business ownership and get to work from home or from the road and achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial, location, and time preferences. So by starting a bookkeeping business, you can actually make $5,000 per month, working only 10 hours per week, and get up to that within just a few short months after launching your business. Even if you currently work full-time, have kids at home, and maybe you've never done bookkeeping before. So in our program, we can show you exactly how to accomplish that. And then of course, if you want to work more hours or make more money, we're going to show you how to do that as well. But if this is something that you are looking to accomplish for your family, then you are in the right place. So type in the chat, yes, those are the things that I'm looking for. That is exactly why I am here. I'm going to make sure that you guys are all looking for the same things. So for those of you that are new to the webinar, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA and a mom of 5. And I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy after my family experienced all the wonderful things that happened to us back in 2015 and forward, as I was able to grow my bookkeeping business, even working part-time from home with a 6-month-old on my hip and 2 elementary school age children. And I did it rather quickly and easily. So much so that within about 7 months of starting my business, I was able to cover all of our family's bills and allowed my husband to retire and quit his corporate job so that he could be home, help me out with the kids, and continue growing our business together. So, which was really, really awesome. And we're coming up on an 8-year celebration as he got to leave corporate America on Christmas Eve of 2015, which was really cool. So I grew my bookkeeping business steadily over a few years until eventually I was making over $200,000 per year. And when I tracked my time, we realized we were working less than a 40-hour work week. That's combined of the time that my husband and I were both putting into our business, which was really, really awesome. Because of this flexible schedule and the low time commitment, I was able to, do a lot of different things with my family. I actually grew my family. I had twins. I was able to nurse them for 2 straight years. They didn't really sleep well, but I was still able to juggle and grow my business throughout this whole time. We also decided to move to a different city and homeschool our older three kids. So the seven of us were home 24/7 around the clock. We were taking care of kids, homeschooling, and also being able to easily maintain and continue to grow our business from home, which was really cool. So that's what I want to be able to show you guys how to do today. So type a yes in the chat if you would like to be able to work from home with reduced hours, but more money coming in and still be available for your family anytime they need you. So type a yes in the chat if that's kind of what you guys are looking for. This is what I was able to accomplish, and this is why I have a passion in creating our Bookkeeper Academy program for other people. Hey, Veronica, good to see you on here. Hey, Julie. Julie's about to be in the academy. I'm so excited. And Veronica's in the academy too. So really excited about that. Now, here at the Bookkeeper Academy, our mission is to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with their families by offering the education and framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. So this is our full mission. It's why our company exists. It's what we stand for and why we are here. And of course, most of you know our motto is have your cake and eat it too, because we believe you shouldn't have to choose between being the parent that you want to be for your kids, and also being able to fully provide for them financially in whatever way that looks for you. So we don't choose. And on this call, I'm going to show you how you can have your cake and eat it too, reach financial freedom for your family while being able to spend time with them on your terms. So I'm curious who all we have with us today attending. If you've been on a live webinar with me in the recent past, type a 1 in the chat. But if this is your first time here, type a 2. I'd love to know who all we have with us. All right. A couple new people, awesome. And some returning people as well. And some you guys might not be able to see everybody in the chat because some people are commenting to host and panelist, but we got seems like we got a good mix. Oh, Alexis, hi. Great. Thank you for letting me know who you are. So welcome back to everybody that's returning and getting more comfortable with the idea of becoming a business owner. And for everyone that's new, welcome to our webinar. We're going to go over lots of information here, and I'm going to stay on until the end when all questions are answered. So if you have to leave early, that's okay. This will be recorded. And Sean, my husband, will be texting each and every one of you to make sure you have access to the recording and all of your questions answered. But if you are able to stay on till the end, I'll be answering every question. And of course, if you have to pop off and can pop back on, that would be wonderful too. Again, I do these webinars every Thursday and Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So hop back on as many times as you need to feel ready to take the plunge and get all your questions answered. Feel free to invite your friends or family members or anyone else that you think will help you make this decision, or even anybody that you know that might be interested in doing something like this. Everyone's welcome to our webinar. So if you have any questions throughout this whole process, don't hesitate to drop them in the chat or type them in the Q&A box. Don't be shy. Ask me anything when it comes to starting this business and how it will work for your family. Transparency is one of our core values at the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I love to be able to clear up any question that you have so you understand exactly what this path to financial freedom could look like for your family. Simply type in the chat box, use the Q&A feature, comment below with your question, and I will answer every single one of them, just as we do in the Bookkeeper Academy. So real quick before we dive in, I'll show you guys the agenda for today so you know exactly what we're going to be covering and everything. The first thing that we're going to do is go over investment options for our Bookkeeper Academy and our Guaranteed Approval Program, where 100% of everyone will be approved to join the program on the smallest payment plan that we've ever offered. Even if you have no job or bad credit, I want you guys to be able to understand, what that investment is. So then you understand as we go through this program how easy it is to get that return on investment. So we're going to be very clear and upfront with you guys right here at the beginning. And then we're going to dive into your goals. So the first step is determining a baseline of where you are, but then where do you want to be? Because then from there, I can show you exactly why a bookkeeping business is ideal for your family, but also how you can utilize it to help you reach these goals. And then lastly, I'll walk you through exactly how our team in the Bookkeeper Academy can help you kickstart your business, build the foundation you need to carry this success into the future for years to come, whether you're an experienced bookkeeper or if you've never even heard of QuickBooks before. So put a thumbs up in the chat if that sounds like a good plan for you today, and if this will hopefully get you guys all the answers to all the questions that you need. All right, awesome. So first we're going to dive in, talk about the investment for the Academy, how you can get started with our new guaranteed funding program. And then if you're new here, you'll be able to see how you can turn this investment into lifelong money for your family. So for the Bookkeeper Academy program, it is only $12,000 for a whole year of support and training and guidance from our team. So we help you learn the skill of becoming not only a bookkeeper, but a bookkeeping business owner. And we help you make $100,000 in your first 12 months. So you literally go from making $0 and being a brand new business owner and maybe even brand new to bookkeeping, and we help you learn how to make $100,000 or have a six-figure annual salary basically in your business within the first year. So when you come into the Academy, you can pay the $12,000 investment in full, but we also have multiple options for payment plans as well, which I'll show you guys here in a second. But first, I just want to highlight that when you invest in yourself and in your business, whether that is with the Bookkeeper Academy or something else, you're always going to get a bigger return than investing in anything else. So, for example, if you invest in like 401k, stocks, real estate, savings account, CDs, stuff like that, your return on investment could be as small as a 0.5% up to maybe like a 2 to 7% investment. But usually, even to get as high as like 7%, it's anywhere from a 3 to 10 year wait before you actually get that. And sometimes you have risk involved as well, that you may end up not getting a return on investment when you invest in those things, like if the stock market has issues or whatever. So when you invest in yourself, though, and in your business, you're developing skills and you're bringing in money and profit that's going to get you a much bigger return on investment. So it's always great to invest in those things first, then use your profit from your business to invest in those other passive things that'll help you along in life. So I just want to point out that you're going to potentially get almost a 10 times return on investment in your investment into the Bookkeeper Academy by launching your bookkeeping business just within the first year. Now, most of our students that are aiming to see how much money they can make with their bookkeeping business, they're able to easily hit $100,000 in their first year. And then what usually happens is every year after that, they're able to double their business. Now, this is considering that it's somebody that wants to come in and start their business and make as much money as possible and see how much they can grow. If your reasoning for wanting to start a business is so that you can have a lot more time back, so that you can spend it with your family without taking that huge financial hit that typically people do when they have to become a stay-at-home parent, then you may not have the goal to hit $100,000 in your first year. But there are other perks of the business, not just making lots of money. You will be able to also still, provide for your family while having a ton of time. So I'll go over all of that. But you will be able to get a rather large return on your investment, assuming that you take action in our program, right? So the other cool thing about our program is that our students can start making money right away. You don't have to go through our Bookkeeper Academy for the full 12 months in order to start making money. And because of that fact that our students are able to get clients so quickly and start bringing in income into their bookkeeping business right away, we actually have a lender that is willing to approve anyone and everyone that wants to join our program. So even if you have bad credit, or maybe you don't have a job right now, or maybe you have a tight budget and you're only able to commit to the monthly payment for a short time to give you a chance to get some clients to come in, you're still going to be approved for financing. So even if you don't have the $12,000 on hand in savings or a credit card, that's okay. You can still get your business started. So we're here to work with you. So if you do go through our funding specialist, the monthly payment for the Bookkeeper Academy program is $640. You only need $640 down to get started, and that's the equivalent of like 1 to 2 really small clients. So if you can make money right away and you only need 1 to 2 clients to cover this investment, then you can see how easy it will be to add to this investment into your budget and then hopefully double and triple the income you have for your family as you get your third and fourth and fifth client. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about how that works on an upcoming slide so you guys have some clarity on how you would be able to cover this investment and then how you'd be able to bring in more money from your business to be able to utilize in your personal life. So this is also based off of a 24-month payment plan, which would put you at paying a total of $15,360 over the 24-month time span. But because most of our students are actually able to pay it off early, obviously, because they can make $100,000 in their first year, right? They can pay it off early. And it's a lot of the times due to a new client sign-on fees, which I'm going to show you all about in an upcoming slide. But if you pay it off in 12 months, it's also interest-free. So you don't have to pay that extra $3,360 in interest. So at the end of the presentation, I'll give you guys information on how to apply for funding. And also my husband, Sean, will be texting you guys so that way you have all the information that you need. Also, if you want, you can also pay us directly. So you can just focus on getting into the academy and growing your business and not going through the lender. That's great too. And I'll also show you how you can do that here in a little bit as well. But before we dive in, I want to talk to you about your beliefs. I'd love to know how many people on here believe that you can make $100,000 in a 12-month time span. Is that something that you believe is possible for you? If you had the right tools, the right opportunity, and the right mentor, do you believe you could make $100,000 working part-time from home? So type a 1 or a yes in the chat if you do believe in yourself that you could accomplish this with the right guidance, or type a 2 or a no if you feel like you can't possibly imagine making that kind of money for your family. Hey, David, good to see you on here. How's it going? I think you are going to move forward with some funding too, right? Hey, Brittany, Paul, awesome. I'm glad that you guys are feeling, most of you so far that have commented, you feel like it is possible and that you could make that kind of money. Because really, honestly, mindset is key when it comes to starting a business. If you've ever followed people like Tony Robbins or Mel Robbins or a bunch of other people, they talk about how mindset is really important. And really, for anyone to be successful in business, only 80% of it is mindset. 20% of it is stuff that you just need to know and learn, but 80% of it is your mind. You can hold yourself back. So that's why we also in our academy focus a lot on mindset in addition to business ownership skills, bookkeeping skills, quoting skills, all of those kinds of things, sales and marketing skills. But mindset is really key. And the biggest obstacle that our students have is their own limiting beliefs about what they think is possible for them. And so I want you guys to think about that as we go through this webinar. Practice imagining these results for yourself and see if you can truly believe in yourself enough that you can accomplish what I'm going to be showing you here. Because we have the exact path to reaching all of your goals, and we will help you overcome any obstacles that come your way. But you have to believe that you can do it, right? So that's the very first thing. So think about that as you are watching the webinar and understanding, what you can accomplish with this. So first, I'd like to dive in and talk about the goals that you have for yourself. So that way I can show you a roadmap of exactly how you can reach them and a timeline for how quickly you can do so. That way you have complete clarity on what to expect as you move forward with starting your bookkeeping business. So first, we're going to start talking about financial goals because truthfully, you can't accomplish any of your other goals if you don't have enough money to support yourself and your family, right? So first, we need to discuss what are your financial goals and what do we need to do to help you reach those? And then the next thing we'll talk about is your time goals. How much do you actually want to work? And what is your preferred schedule? What are you missing out on right now that you would like to be able to take part in with your family? And then we're going to touch on location goals. Where do you want to work from? Do you want to work from home? Are you sick of driving to the office? Are you sick of having to travel for your job? Things like that. So we'll discuss that because a bookkeeping business is completely virtual, which is really great, which means you can, work from anywhere you want. As a matter of fact, it's starting to get cold here in Kansas City, where we are living currently, and we have just been talking about picking up and going to California or even Jamaica for just a handful of days just to get some sunshine. And it's great to be able to have an online or a virtual business so that you can do that. So I'm going to show you guys how you can set this up and be able to achieve it as well. So we're going to start with financial goals, but I like to put these in three different buckets. So the first one is called a bare minimum goal. And this is a basic goal that you would want to hit to give yourself confidence that you are on the right path and basically establishing proof of concept for your family. I'm probably going to have to pause a few times and cough. I'm losing my voice again for some reason. Anyway, for me, back in 2015, I was making about $3,500 per month after taxes at my CPA job. But I didn't want to put my new baby in daycare, so I hired a nanny to come and watch her while I was working, and I had to pay her about $1,500 a month. So really, I was only netting about $2,000 after paying my nanny. So that was really my very first bare minimum goal. Obviously, I wanted more than that, but I knew if I just made $2,000, then I would be fine for a while. So that was my goal number one, my bare minimum goal, $2,000 a month. For you, it could be the bare minimum you would need to make in your business, maybe to cover your portion of the family expenses each month. Maybe it would allow you to drop down to part-time at your job, or just like be able to pay for groceries, gas, your monthly commitments on time. Could be anything. So type your goal number one in the chat. What is that ballpark number that you would want to make in your bookkeeping business that would allow you to start pivoting away from whatever undesirable situation that you're currently in, and why you're here and looking to make a change? So type in the chat, what would be your goal number one? All right, 3,500. 5,000, 3,000. Great. Keep them coming, guys, and then write them down as well. So as you guys have the goal number one figured out, then we're going to also have goal number two. And it's really great to have these goals in different levels because you need something to strive for, and you need to have easy goals that are attainable, but you also need to have those big goals too. So the next level of goal is what I call the comfortable, content, and worry-free goal. This is where you're not having to worry about budgeting or penny pinching anymore, not have to worry about checking grocery prices or worrying about taking the family out to dinner on a whim. So for us back in 2015, that goal was about $5,000 to $6,000 per month. At that time, it would have allowed us to cover all of our basic expenses, and it was allowing my husband to be able to leave his job, which helped us start to reach some of our lifestyle goals. So this is where I knew that this bookkeeping business was really the right track for me, and that all I had to do was keep going and I was going to keep growing. So my first goal was kind of like proof of concept. Is this going to work? And then when I hit that goal, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to work. So what's the next thing? And that's the covered, content, and worry-free goal. So what would your monthly amount be for your family to kind of feel like, hey, we can kick back and relax. If I didn't add another client to my bookkeeping business right now, we'd be okay. Although I do kind of want more money and I want to upgrade our lifestyle, but I would be happy here. I would be content for a while. So what is that for you? We've got 7,000, um, 5 to, and then 10,000. All right, for Nike. 6,500 for Alexis. Awesome. And then we have goal number three. So after you've hit that goal where, maybe you've fully replaced your salary, you've got all the bills covered and everything like that, now you want to think about your wow goal. This is what I call a wow goal. So if you could start reaching some of your family's financial goals, bucket list items, what do you think you actually need to bring in each month to really start making some of those things a reality? So for us, it was exceeding the $10,000 per month mark. This allowed us to be able to skip budgeting, take family vacations without worrying about money at all, buy a new car, pay it off super early. We even upgraded our house and we got a pool, those kinds of things. So, what do you think you would need to bring in as your wow goal that would allow you to start changing your lifestyle, maybe upgrading, paying off debt, whatever you want to do? A Nucky. Okay, great. Awesome. That is really cool. Nucky Eye. 15K a month take home pay. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so type in the chat, what is your wow goal? And just so you know, everybody's wow goal, I've never seen a wow goal on here that isn't attainable through even just the first year or so of a bookkeeping business. So you guys can definitely hit these levels. Um, 10, 12, 12. Awesome. I love it. 10,000. Great. So now that you guys have your time, your financial goals and have clarity around that, let's talk about your time goals. So think about how much time you currently work right now per week and include all the hours that you are away from home or away from family. So you want to add in commute and all that jazz. So for me, I worked really close to my job. It was 5 minutes from my home. I worked through my lunch break. So I did spend only about 40 hours a week devoting to my full-time job. But my husband, on the other hand, was commuting to downtown Kansas City, fighting traffic, and oftentimes he had to work late. So he was typically gone about 60 hours per week. So think about that, what it is for you, and type those hours in the chat, how much you are currently working and away from your family, the total time investment into your current employment or career. And if you're currently unemployed or you're a stay-at-home parent, how many hours per week would you have to work if you were going to bring in a decent salary? So type that in the chat or comments below. Ooh, David says 79 hours. Ouch, that's a lot of time to invest. Paul says 40, 45. All right. And then in a perfect scenario, how many hours per week would you prefer to work? So type that in the chat next. I work 50 hours looking for this as part-time. I'm always on call, Julie says. Ooh, always on call. That sucks, and you can't ever relax. Okay, so Paul's preferred time is 30 hours. So you want to save about 10 hours a week. Great. Great, absolutely. So what would be your preferred time? Assuming that you guys have to work a little bit, right? Everybody has to work a little bit to be able to bring in money, unless you're just independently wealthy, right? But how much would you rather work if you had to pick? Like for me, I always wanted to keep it around 15 to 20 hours a week so I could really spend a lot of time with my kids. But it's different for everybody, whatever your situation is right now. 40 hours, 60 to build my business. Love that. 30 hours a month. Right. And maybe you are willing to work more because you are here because you want to make as much money as possible. So that is perfect for you too, if that is your goal. So keep in mind that flexibility is key with a bookkeeping business too. Bingo, Julie says. You're going to get to choose the time of day and the day of week that you want to work. And you can even change it from week to week as well. It's super flexible, but these numbers are important so you can see the roadmap here on an upcoming slide. All right. And then I want to chat real quick about some location freedom goals that you have. What is your current workspace and where do you prefer to work? Do you have a desire to work from home or maybe even work from another location or multiple locations? Do you have any travel plans that you would prefer um, to accomplish in the near future that you haven't been able to do because of your job and your restrictions from your job and your schedule right now? So type in the chat, where do you want to work from? Julie wants to work from the farmhouse, hybrid. Yes, love that. So type that in the chat. And then also, it's always fun to think about other goals that you have for yourself or your family that you'd like to achieve that we haven't even talked about yet. So maybe debt payoff. Does anyone want to do that? How about buying a house, investing, or any of those things? Type those in the chat if any of those things are something that you're looking for. And then I want to show you guys, one of our students shared this with us last year or so. And her name's Jera, and she said that let me just read this to you real quick. She says, "Hello, everyone. I wanted to share an amazing win of mine, and I hope it lifts and encourages you to know that you can do it too. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool my 4 kids. My husband graduated chiropractic school around $175,000 of debt, and we were just squeezing by to pay all expenses on top of the ever-crushing school loan. I had worked full time up until I had my kids, and though I enjoy being a mother, I always wanted to get back into the work field, even just for a day or two. I tried looking for part time jobs, but at $9 per hour or less, and I didn't get a higher education, so making more was out of the question without going back to school. I researched and followed several groups, school programs, and even tried to get into marketing, which she ironically said she was awful at. And someone had mentioned Tiffany's group. And though I didn't have bookkeeping experience, I really enjoyed financing and problem solving. Of course, with things being tight, I worried that we would spend the money and I wouldn't see a return. I contemplated for a couple days, and my husband encouraged me to just go for it. One of the best decisions we have made. I joined summer of 2019 and opened in October of 2019. It took me 3 months to land my first client. It has had its ups and downs, but I am so glad I decided to take that chance. Fast forward to now, I have 25 monthly clients as well as contract work for a CPA. I have 3 part-time employees, and I put in roughly 20 to 40 hours a week. I do this all from home. I still homeschool my kids, take vacation days, and schedule things on my time. I put in a lot of evening hours so I can spend the day with my kids, but are you ready for the big news? We paid off our loans. A 30-year, $175,000 loan in less than 5 years, and the majority was paid in 2020 and 2021. We are now saving up a down payment to build our dream home, which I will certainly share pics once it comes together. I make more per hour than my husband, and he took 8 years of school, and I took Tiffany's program for a small fee. I am also not capped at what I can earn. I'm not limited to how many hours I can work. I can contract out, hire more employees, and continue to grow as big as I want. The sky's the limit. I'm just so happy I stumbled upon this group. Thank you to Tiffany for making it possible for this mom to dream big. So, really cool the kinds of things that you can accomplish in your bookkeeping business. And all it takes is to take that first step, right? To getting started. So, to celebrate my 1 year anniversary in my bookkeeping business in June of 2016, we bought a new van, and I completely paid it off within about 6 months. It was a $45,000 van, and we were able to get approved for this and pay for it in full, living only and solely off my bookkeeping business income. We didn't have any other source of income coming in. We actually still drive this car today. And we also took that van and took our kids on a 16-day vacation across the country, stopping in Estes Park, Colorado, Mission Beach, California, and the Grand Canyon. I'd always wanted to take a really long vacation and never got to do that. I always watched my boss take big, long trips like this. And it was really great because even though I had my bookkeeping business, I was able to not only have the funds to do this, but the flexibility as well. So on this trip, I took my laptop with me and I did a little bit of work here and there. But luckily, because bookkeeping is typically a 30-day rotation of deadlines, that I was able to put off a lot of stuff. And then when we got back from vacation, I just got caught up, which was really awesome. That's where the flexibility really comes in. Then, to my surprise, I also was able to upgrade our house. We were able to get a house with a pool and a small tennis court in the backyard, and I got approved for this in 2018, only 3 years after starting my bookkeeping business. And I was able to get financing for a new house, double the size and the cost of what we were currently living in. And our bookkeeping business was our primary and only source of income, which is really, really cool. So I just want you guys to understand that this is a legitimate short-term gain and long-term gain uh, road and path that you can follow. If you guys are here because you want to set up a side hustle, that's totally fine. But I just want you to know that this is something that you could truly, truly rely on to get your family to the next level of your life that you want to be. So type in the chat, if there are any other things that you want to accomplish. No, Julie says she wants to travel quarterly at least. Alexis wants to work from home or any location. David wants to buy a house and pay off debt. Yes. Alexa says, how long have you been doing bookkeeping? So, me personally, I've been doing bookkeeping. I've been in accounting since I was 16. I took my first accounting class then. I knew that's something that I wanted to do. So, I started doing bookkeeping and payroll for family businesses when I was in high school. Then, all through college, when I got my accounting degree, I also worked for my father's painting company and construction company doing his bookkeeping there. I did then get a job working as a sales tax auditor for the state of Missouri for a while. But then when I started having kids, it changed everything. I didn't want to have a full-time career outside of the house. So for a long time, I tried to stay home with them and just I tried to dabble. I even actually did try to start a bookkeeping business when I was in my early 20s, but I didn't know how to do it back then. I didn't know what I was doing or have the time. And of course, things weren't really virtual back in 2005. So it wasn't something that I was able to do. So I chose at that time to stay home with my kids. And we were poor. We were super poor, broke. It was a very hard lifestyle, which probably led to the end of my first marriage. And when I got remarried and then I had my third child and I was working at the CPA firm, before I had my third child, when I was working there, I went back to school. I studied for the CPA exam. I passed the CPA exam, and then I was trying to work my way up this job at the CPA firm. But I got remarried and I had my third child. And when I had my third child, that was right after I passed the CPA exam and right before going into tax season. So she was an infant when I went into tax season the first year of being an official CPA. And after tax season, my boss gave me the worst raise. I was expecting to like really be compensated for the time and effort and energy that I had put in for the last 2 years, trying to work my way up in this firm and studying for the CPA exam and trying to pass it. And I didn't even get a raise that was equivalent enough to help pay for my nanny costs. And at that point in time, I knew this is terrible. Like I'm not going to bend over backwards and miss out on my daughter's life for someone who clearly doesn't value what I bring to the company. And so I quit. I quit my job, but I did not want to go down the same path that I did with my older two kids and try to live off of one tiny W-2 income. It was too hard. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life poor and broke again. And so I thought, hey, now I know, now I've got the skills to know how to do this. I'm going to jump out and just start my bookkeeping business. Like I mentioned, if I could just make $2,000 a month, then it'd be fine, right? And worst case scenario, I could always go find another job, right? So that was my thought process. And then when I did that, I can't believe it, but I got clients really easily and was able to scale my business and never looked back after that. Then in 2019, I hired an employee to work for me in my bookkeeping business. And she was in the same boat that I was in. She had a 5-month-old and she was like, I can't work for you any more than part-time that I'm doing right now, but I need more money. So just so you know, I'm going to start a bookkeeping business on the side too. And in my mind, I was thinking she's just like I was back in 2005. She's not going to know what she's doing. She's going to have so much to learn. And I thought, but she's in this great spot. She's in this really great spot because you know why? She can ask me anything. I've basically been through all of it. I've learned everything. I have all of this perfected in my bookkeeping business. I could literally teach her how to do it all. And so I thought to myself, if I can help her and teach her how to do it, then I could teach other people how to do it. So in 2019, I launched this program, and my oldest child at the time, I think he was about 14. And I told him I was doing this, and I was like, I don't know if I want to just like slowly let my clients go and just focus on this. And he said, what about selling your business? And I was like, that's a great idea. If I sell my bookkeeping business, then I can utilize that cash that I receive to float us by for a while I'm building this bookkeeper academy. So that's exactly what I did. So I went 100% into the bookkeeping academy, just like I did in 2015 when I started my bookkeeping business. And since 2019, we have been focusing solely on helping people grow bookkeeping businesses. So we've been doing that going on almost 5 years now, and have helped thousands and thousands of people. As a matter of fact, we've had over 45,000 people purchase something from us, a course or an ebook or something like that. But we've worked with like two to 3,000 people actually in our full-fledged coaching program. So there's a lot of really awesome lives that have been changed in the process of doing that. So want to be able to buy a good vehicle and travel all over the US with my son. Awesome. I love that. Yes. And the great thing about a bookkeeping business, and I'm going to show you here in a minute on exactly how you can reach the goals that you have for yourself, but I'm also going to give you the exact roadmap on getting there so you have complete clarity on what this process looks like, the timeline on how quickly you can reach these various goals we just talked about, and all that kind of stuff. But the great thing about a bookkeeping business is that the amount of time and effort and energy that you put into it, you benefit from it, not your boss, not the person that you're working for, right? You benefit from it. So this is one of the biggest things that I really love about teaching people how to start these businesses. But really, what's really, really cool is how quickly you can get there as well. So let's talk about that for a minute. The first thing that I want to go over is the average time it takes our students to reach various levels of consistent, reoccurring, dependable monthly income in their bookkeeping business. There are several ways you can actually earn money in your bookkeeping business, like cleanup jobs, commission income, payroll income. Those are something that are not as consistent, and I'm going to talk about those later. But the main thing in a bookkeeping business that is consistent is what's called monthly bookkeeping fees, or a monthly maintenance package that you would charge a business owner. And so these are when they pay you every single month to do their bookkeeping, and it's like consistent reoccurring income that automatically comes out of their account and goes into your account every single month. So you can expect to receive this as much as you can depend on your paycheck. I like to argue that even more, your business, your bookkeeping business monthly income is going to be even more dependable than your paycheck could be, because you could be fired from your job or laid off at any point in time, right? If you happen to lose a client here or there, which doesn't happen very often, it's very easy to go back out and replace that client, which is really cool. So you're always going to be adding to your income. It's always going to be slightly going up for the most part. But this is a super conservative picture of what you can expect to bring in and to make if you add new businesses to your book of business. So really all you have to do is be taking action on following our steps in our Bookkeeper Academy, and this is how quickly that you can get to your goals. We typically see our students add about $1,000 of monthly income to their business for every month they are in business. So for example, if you want to make, as your first goal, mine was $2,000 a month, it'll take you approximately 2 months to get there. So if I got started on my bookkeeping business today, then by February 9th, I would already be making $2,000 per month. So if I didn't want to even do any more marketing and I just wanted to be cool with that, then that money would be consistently coming in all the time. So let's say you maybe need $5,000 per month to be able to quit your job. If you got started today by, what is that? January, February, March, April, May. By May 9th, you would be at $5,000 per month in reoccurring monthly packages. Now, this chart shows what it would be for an average student. Our average student is somebody that works full time, has little kids at home, and is spending about maybe 30 to 60 minutes per day consistently on their marketing plan that we help them build. And the fact that they come in and they get started almost right away, right? So if you come in and you take a while, you want to do some learning first into the academy, this will happen slower. But if you have more time and you're ready to dive in and hit the ground running, you could actually reach these goals even faster. And because we're coming up on tax season, it's potentially likely that you could hit these goals faster because if you don't know, business owners have to have their bookkeeping done first before they can get their taxes done. So during tax season, a lot of people are looking for bookkeepers to help them so that they can get their taxes filed. So there's kind of like this mad rush for bookkeepers in tax season. So you can kind of get to these goals a little bit faster. So if you think about it, if you can invest $640 per month into your business to get started, and then within just a few short months, you're already making $2,000 to $3,000 per month, then that makes sense, right? It makes sense. You're going to be breaking a profit on your business within just 2 to 3 months in your business. So, type a yes in the chat if you feel like that makes sense, right? It's a great return on the investment, assuming that you have these results. If you invest $640 per month to get started, but then can then make $2,000 a month within the first few months of starting, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? So type yes if you agree with that. But then also what you need to know in terms of clients, this is how much money that you can make. But what does that mean? How many clients do you need to actually have? So here's a chart of approximate average number of clients you'll need at all the different monthly income levels. So for me, at my first goal of $2,000 per month, I knew I only needed about 4 small clients. Now, the reason I knew this is because I worked in the CPA firm and I was in charge of doing all the bookkeeping. So I saw what my boss charged these clients. So I knew that if I just found 4 of my own and I charged them in the same fashion that he did, that I would only need 4 clients to make $2,000 per month, which is really, really cool. Now, even at my wow goal of $10,000 a month, if you look at that, you only need about 20 clients. So that's assuming also that every client you get is rather small. So it's a range. A lot of our students get somewhat larger clients. So that would mean you would just need less clients to reach your income goals. For example, Kim got a new client in December that is paying her $21.97 per month. So instead of 4 clients at the first milestone, she only needed 1. When I had my bookkeeping business, I was making $20,000 per month, but I only had 33 clients instead of the 40 that are listed here. So just so you can get a typical feel for what the range is. So look at this chart and type in the chat, how many clients do you actually need to reach your first goal? So for me, it was 4. How many clients do you guys need to reach your first goal? All right, 6 and 10. 4 to just start. Awesome. David needs 20. For your first goal, David? Kathy says 6. All right, now I want to show you guys what okay, 10, that makes more sense. Let me show you guys what the potential client pool is. So we have anywhere from like 4 to 10 clients is what you guys are looking for just to hit your very first goal. So this chart here shows how many potential clients there are out there. This picture was from the SBA.gov of the total number of small businesses in the US from 2017 to 2022. So if you look at this chart in 2022, there were 33.2 million businesses in existence. And as you can see on this chart, it's growing every year. Every single year it got bigger, right? In fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses starting up every single month. And there's bookkeepers and CPAs that are retiring in droves and no one to really replace them because there's been a decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees, most likely because of the low pay, long hours during tax season. You guys can Google all of this too. But clients are literally everywhere. There will never be a shortage of potential clients for you. So there's tons of fish in the sea, and there's never going to be enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. But it also helps that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone to purchase. They all know they need it, and they are all already convinced of the value. So finding and getting clients is relatively easy. And of course, we walk you through exactly how to find clients, and I'll show you all about that on an upcoming slide. But put a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if you feel, based on this chart, that actually getting the number of clients that you need to really hit your first goal and start working towards your family's future. Type a yes or a thumbs up if you feel like it's doable, getting anywhere from like 4 to 10 clients based on this client pool of, 33.2 million, that it would be doable for you guys to hit that. All right. Yes, I'm glad you guys are on the right thought process here. So the next slide is my favorite one of the entire presentation. This one is the expected time commitment that you need to make to complete the bookkeeping work for these clients at various monthly income levels. So for your first goal of $2,000, you only have to work about 4 hours per week to do all of the bookkeeping work for those clients. So if you want to keep growing, you'll spend more time on marketing, but to actually just do the bookkeeping work, it's only going to take you about 4 hours per week. So the reason that I knew that was to be true is, again, in the CPA firm that I worked at, I was doing the bookkeeping. I saw what my boss charged, so I knew how many clients I would need to hit that same level. But I also knew how long it took me to do the bookkeeping work. So I knew that if I just got a handful of clients and I was bringing in $2,000 a month, I'd only have to work 4 hours per week, and I would be able to spend all the rest of that time back with my daughter. So when I realized there were no growth opportunities at the place I was working at, it didn't make sense for me to stay there and continue putting in 40 plus hours per week if I was not going to be able to ever reach my goals. So starting my business just was a no-brainer for me. So I want you guys to do a little bit of math. So we can figure something out here. But don't worry, you don't actually have to be good at math to be a good bookkeeper. I always use a calculator. So I'll pull up this calculator really quick, and I want to show you guys this. So if I currently worked 40 hours per week, that was my typical time investment, but I was only netting $2,000 a month after paying my nanny, then I knew I would only have to work 4 hours per week to basically have the same financial impact on my family. So if I take 40 minus 4 hours, I realized that I would be saving 36 hours per week to be able to spend with my daughter or my family. So I want you guys to type in the chat, how much time would you save if you did a bookkeeping business instead of the job that you have right now? So type that in the chat. What are the total number of hours that you would save if you pivoted away from your job and you started your bookkeeping business, or where you were doing that instead? So as you guys are calculating that up, let's see. Penny said she'd save 20 hours. Brittany would save 36 because you work a 40-hour work week. David would save 59 hours. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, you got to imagine that for a minute, right? Imagine that. If you had all of that time back, what would you do with it? Right? Alexis would save 20 plus hours. You would pick up a hobby, maybe just enjoy your life more, but also spend more time with your family, or reinvest some of that back into your business so you can start hitting your financial goals, right? Any of those things are acceptable paths that you can choose. You can decide what you want to do with that extra time, which is really great. Julie says, my youngest is at KU. We live really close to KU. I've got the time to build this, assuming I'm not working my current job. Fantastic. Yeah, Julie. And that's something too that I love. People can grow these businesses alongside their full-time job. But if you really have a high belief in this program and a high belief in yourself, I say quit that job and go 100% into the business. That's something that you could always do as well, which is cool. I didn't realize you lived in Overland Park. That is awesome. We're like 20 minutes away. How cool. So yeah, Brittany said I would homeschool again and then invest back in my business. Yes, exactly. That's great. You'd be able to homeschool and have all that extra time to do that. So it's really cool. But if you guys take a look at this chart too, even if you work up to hitting your wow goal or my wow goal, it was $10,000. You're only committed to working about 20 hours a week on the actual bookkeeping work for your clients. Now, again, if you're still in growth mode, you're going to spend a decent amount of time marketing, right? But if you're not, you're happy with that. You want to stay at five or $10,000 per month. If you're at 10,000, 20 hours a week is all it takes. This really helped me when I got pregnant with the twins because I'm only 5'1" and I have a really small torso. So when I got pregnant with the twins, it was really hard on my body. They were both well, they had their own sac and their own placenta, so there was a lot of stuff in there, and they were both almost or more than 7 pounds. So I got really big, and that meant I needed a lot of rest time. So when I was like 6, 7, 8, 9 months pregnant with the twins, I stopped marketing. I stopped everything and I just did the bare minimum. I did what I call coasting. When you're happy with your income and you want to take a break from growing, we call that coasting. And so there's like seasons in your business where you're going to feel like, okay, it's time to coast. Maybe you like coasting during the holidays or whatever. Maybe over the summer is where you coast because you can go travel around with your kids or whatever. But it's really cool because when you get into that mode, this is the only time commitment you're actually going to have to make in your bookkeeping business is just completing the work, which is really, really great. So I only had to work like, 15 to 18 hours per week or something like that when I had my twins. And that was incredible because I had all this time where I could relax and take care of myself, which is super cool. But it's really nice because you can work these hours, these 4, 8, 10, 16, 20 hours a week. You can work them whenever or however you want. So you can do it before the kids wake up in the morning. You could do it late at night. You could work only on the weekends. You could work only on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's really, really flexible. And you can even change that schedule from week to week. So, for example, when I had my twins and they were awake all night long and then they'd sleep all day, I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I would get my nursing pillow and wrap them around and I would sit at my computer and I would do my bookkeeping work at like 3 a.m. And then I would go to sleep at like 5 or 6 when they were sleeping, and I would sleep until noon. And it was great. And I did that for a while until they started sleeping differently. So, but that's what's great with your bookkeeping business is no matter what is going on in your life, you can change your schedule, you can fluctuate it. So here's a little recap of all of the information. If you guys want to take a quick screenshot of this, you're welcome to do that. It shows the average time it takes students to reach these results, assuming they come in and they hit the ground running right away. This is the total monthly income that you can be at with reoccurring, consistent client work. Number of hours per week it's going to take you to complete just the bookkeeping work, and then the average number of clients you're going to need at these different levels, assuming they are all really, really small. All right. So a lot of times when we get to this point, everybody's so excited, right? Like this stuff is great. This is going to help you reach not only your financial goals, but also your time goals, right? And your location freedom goals. But does anybody feel like this is too good to be true or like wondering how this would ever possibly work out for you? So if you feel that way, type a yes in the chat or tell me how you're feeling as far as like understanding, the business and science behind how you would get these type of results. Because I want to dive in and show you guys how does this high money, low time business truly work for you? How can you get these results? So Alexis says yes. Okay, I'm going to break it down to you. The very first thing I want you to think about is I feel like this is such an underrated business. Totally. I'm totally Brittany for sure. If you guys Google it and you say, what are the top most profitable businesses that you could start? Forbes.com has an article out there that lists bookkeeping as in the top 3 most profitable virtual businesses that you can start. I want to learn more on what it takes. Yeah, we're going to get into that too. So basically, this is shifting your perspective from being an employee. We've all been employees most of our lives, right? You don't usually just come out of the womb as a business owner. You usually get experience working for someone. So our mentality, our perspective, our thought process has all been around being an employee. So sometimes it's hard for people to understand how this works because that's how they've learned everything up until this point, right? So this is showing you how to shift your mindset and shift your perspective so that you can start thinking like a business owner and understanding how business owners think and how they're also able to make more money than their employees because they have to, right? Because otherwise there'd be no money to pay their employees, right? So we're building a business with that in mind, thinking about becoming a business owner. But when you start this business, there are a few key pillars that you'll want to understand that are going to make these results possible for you. The very first one that's the most important is understanding how to quote and charge for your bookkeeping services. So proper quoting process is obviously going to be a very important skill to develop. And there are a lot of factors that go into quoting for bookkeeping clients. So that way you can make sure you're valuing the services properly and you're not undervaluing, therefore causing extra work for yourself because this business is going to give you freedom. But if you don't quote properly, it can very easily create another job for yourself and then create some resentment around some of your clients because the work is going to take more than you were, essentially getting paid for. So we help you really understand the whole process on quoting, how that works, so that not only your clients find it very easy to say yes and hop on board, and it's a fair, reasonable price for them, but also understanding how to do that depending on all the different various situations that your client might be in. So we base our quoting on fixed price packages. So your client is never going to know your hourly rate. They're never going to know how long it takes you to actually do the bookkeeping work, but they're going to rather pay a fixed fee to you. We base those fixed fees on a few different criteria. Number one, how big is the company? What is their annual revenue size? By knowing what their annual revenue is and how big the company is, we know number one, they're going to be able to afford the monthly fee. And number two, it tells us a lot about how much work is going to go into doing the bookkeeping for this company. So that's the very first criteria of where we start. Second criteria is going to be what industry are they in? So there's a handful of industries that have a little bit more nuances. They're a little bit more complex than other ones. And so they take a little bit longer. So we factor that into the quote as well if they're in these certain industries. The third thing we factor is how organized are they? Do they have 100 accounts or do they have two? Are they commingling all of their business and personal stuff or are they keeping it all separate? So based on those criteria, we help you come up with a really great fixed fee to charge the client. What's really great about our Bookkeeper Academy is that when you're in there, you not only get a flow chart of exactly how to do this, but you get a script of exactly what questions to ask when you're talking to a potential client. And then when that client answers your questions, you actually have access to our quoting tool where you're able to input the answers that you receive from your potential client into our quoting tool, and it tells you exactly what to charge them. And then as an extra layer of protection, we also have you submit your quote to our team, and we give you coaching and guidance on, yes, the quoting tool I think is spot on this time. Actually, in this scenario, since they're wanting a little bit more services, we would recommend that you charge this amount instead. So you have that extra layer of support on getting help with quoting. For example, we have a student named Sylvia. I think she just commented on one of my Facebook posts the other day on my personal page. But Sylvia was in our program and she had a construction client and she'd never worked in that industry before. So she came to one of our coaching calls and she said, based on, the quoting tool, I'm thinking I should charge this guy about $500 a month, but he is wanting a few extra things. Like, can you tell me if I'm on the right track? So Vanessa, one of our students, she actually, or one of our coaches, I'm sorry, she actually said, based on these extra services that they're wanting, I would really suggest charging him $1,000 a month. So essentially, she wanted her to double her fee. So Sylvia was a little bit nervous, but she went back to her client and she proposed $1,000, and the client said yes. So she moved forward with that client. Now, Sylvia is going to be making an extra $500 per month just from having that one interaction with our team. And assuming Sylvia would maybe only have this client for 1 year, that's a $6,000 return on her investment of just utilizing our team for that one interaction. But Sylvia's more than likely going to have that client for years. So let's say she has that client for 5 years. So it's a $6,000 benefit of being in the academy, just by helping her quote appropriately over 5 years. That's going to be a $30,000 return on her investment, literally just by having that one conversation. Not to mention that it would be $60,000. There's the total amount of money that client's going to pay her over a 5 year time span, counting the whole $1,000, right? So really cool. But proper quoting can have a huge impact on getting the results that I'm outlining here. So we want to make sure that you're really, really quoting correctly. Then the second most important piece that goes along with the quoting is understanding how to do the work in the most efficient way. So we're going to help you learn how to streamline how you work with each individual client. So that way you're not doing things that are unnecessary or really like busy work, and you're only doing the things that your client is going to need and get the most value from. So when we have our students do the work in this streamlined fashion, and they track their time, when you take that total number of hours that you've worked with a client and you divide that out over the monthly fee that you're charging them, most of our students make around $100 per hour on their monthly bookkeeping work. I just hired one of our previous students. Her name's Christy. She works full time in the Bookkeeper Academy now because she grew her bookkeeping business up, and so much so that she quit her job, her full time job in IT. She retired her husband, and now her husband is home and he is homeschooling their 4 kids. But her bookkeeping business is so efficient and so profitable. She reached out to me and said, "Look, I want to come back and work with you guys full time again, helping inspire your students to keep going because this program has changed my life so much." And you guys will get to work with Christy when you join the Bookkeeper Academy as well. And Christy is making about anywhere from $75 to $150 per hour on her current clients right now as well, which is really awesome. And as you guys can see, the flexibility of it, I typically require everyone on my team to work a full-time, mostly Monday through Friday to 5 type of schedule. So Christy is committing to that because she wants to be a part of our team, but she's able to continue to work her business outside of those hours as well, which is really, really awesome. And I'm sure her husband's probably even helping a little bit here and there with the data entry, because bookkeeping really is 80% data entry, which is awesome. The other really cool thing, though, about the efficient workflow and how we support you around that piece is a lot of times your clients are going to really love working with you. And so they're going to start asking you to do things that are outside of the normal scope of exactly what you are currently charging them for, right? So over time, if they ask you to do more things, if you slowly keep taking these things on and say yes without reworking their quote, that's what we call scope creep. And over time, your hourly rate is going to go down because you're doing all these extra things for them that you aren't charging for. So we help you set boundaries with your clients so that way, if that ever happens, you can still be a really awesome, trusted resource for them, but get paid appropriately for it. So we help you quote for those things too, but also having those conversations with your client and feeling really good about it. Yes, absolutely. I'd love to help you with that. Do you mind if I send you a quote over for what that would look like? And that way your client can decide, do I want to pay extra for this or do I want to just do it myself? And if they want you to do it, great, but then you get paid for it, right? So those two things are what really give you the opportunity to make the $100 plus per hour, have the results that I've shared with you on these charts. Those are the main things. But also, like I had kind of hinted to, we are helping you build this business with the end in mind. So we want you to come in here and we want you to set everything up as if you have these long-term goals that you're working towards. Now, when you're a new business owner, most of the time you don't even know what those long-term goals could possibly even be. You have no idea because you're focusing on goal number 1, goal number 2, goal number 3, not goal number 20 or goal number 100. But we know what your goals will be in the next 3 to 5 years should you keep continuing to grow your business. So we want you to start building your business from day one with the end in mind. So here's a couple of things. The first one is that someday in the future, you may want to hire people. And if you don't set your business up properly, you won't be able to pay employees, right? So we want you to start getting in the habit of quoting appropriately, doing the work appropriately and efficiently. So that way, when you're ready to hire an employee, you can bring them on, have plenty of profit to be able to pay for them, and also have the processes built out that you can show them how to do the work efficiently so they can get it done really fast and be efficient workers for you. So if you take a look at this chart that we were looking at, again, you look down at the bottom, it shows that if you decide to work 40 hours per week, a full-time workload in your business, you can make $20,000 per month in bookkeeping income. So let's say you decide to hire somebody that is going to work in your business for you, and they're going to be your full-time employee. So if you do that, you would pay them anywhere. The going rate right now for a full-time bookkeeper, a staff accountant is around $3,500 to $4,500 per month. But let's say you want to pay them really well. So let's round up to like $5,000 per month. So if you hire someone full-time, they're going to be able to handle the workload for clients that total $20,000 per month, and you're going to pay them a $5,000 monthly salary, which means for every full-time employee, you're going to have a $15,000 per month profit for each employee, which is really awesome. You need to have that room in there because if you hire somebody, you still need to be compensated as the business owner because you're probably still going to do sales and marketing and you're going to be reviewing this employee's work, and you still need money for your family, right? So you need that profit built in. So does anybody want to see what it would look like if you made $1 million in your business? I'll show you that really quick. So let's say you want to make $1 million in revenue in your business. What does that look like as far as profit after you pay your employees? So let's take $1 million divided by 12 months. That's $83,000 per month that you would need to make every month if you want to have a 7-figure bookkeeping business, right? So if you know that it's $20,000 of total bookkeeping clients income for every 40-hour work week, let's see how many full-time employees we would need. So you would take the 83,000 divided by the $20,000, and that means you'd need 4.16 full-time employees. So a full-time and then maybe a part-time employee. If you're paying them on average $5,000 per month, then that's going to be about $20,000 per month that you would be paying your full-time employee. So if you multiply that by 12 months, that's a total of $250,000 per year that you would be paying your team. They would be doing all of the work for you for your $1 million bookkeeping business. And that means you would be making a profit of $750,000 in your bookkeeping business, which is really, really awesome. But this is what we help you do. We help you create that and have that profit for when you hire employees too. And in the meantime, before you hire employees, you get the best of both worlds. You get the employee pay, but you also get the business owner profit portion as well, which is really awesome. But lastly, we also are helping you build this business with the end in mind and setting it up this way in case you ever decide you want to sell your business like I did, which is really cool because you might not think about doing that now, but these businesses can actually be a built-in retirement plan for you. They're very, very attractive to potential investors. And the reason that is because number one, they have fixed monthly reoccurring income. It's dependable. Even if you're not marketing, that money is coming in every single month. And investors love that because they love have a business that's stable, right? And so that's the first thing. The second thing is how profitable the business is even after hiring employees. Like as you guys can see with a seven-figure bookkeeping business, you're going to have $750,000 of profit after paying your team. Now that gives you a lot of wiggle room to maybe hire people ahead of schedule, invest in marketing and scaling your business. So an investor might want to be able to take some of that profit and use it for other things, which is really, really awesome. And then the third thing that makes it really attractive to investors is that as you start building your team, then you are able to slowly pull yourself out of the day-to-day operations and it doesn't harm your business in any way. So when an investor comes in to buy your business, they can slowly phase you out of the business without any of your clients leaving or without your business falling apart. So that is really attractive to them because obviously they don't want to buy a business that's going to crumble when the owner leaves, right? So very, very attractive to them and very affordable or, for them to want to buy it. So for example, these businesses are priced at a multiple of revenue. So if you have a small business, let's say $200,000 per year is what you're making, the multiple is 1 times revenue. So you can potentially sell your business for $200,000. But as they get bigger, the multiple increases. So if you get your business up to about $1 million, you could potentially sell your business for 2 million. So the multiple becomes like 2 times revenue. And it keeps growing from there. So I do have some students we're working with right now, and their goal is to grow their bookkeeping business so that they can then sell it in the next 5 years, use that as a retirement so they can start traveling. And that is really exciting. So we're going to help you build your business with that in mind as well. So based on these basically 4 criteria, do you guys feel like it makes a lot more sense into why you can have the results that I've shared on the previous slides? Does it make sense to you guys now? Can you guys type in the chat and let me know if you're feeling like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Um, and and if you have any questions, please let me know that as well. Awesome. Okay, glad you guys are on board with that. Now, one thing I haven't even talked about yet is back work and cleanup opportunities. So when you get a new client, all we've been talking about so far is how much money you make with the monthly maintenance fees. And this is money that they pay you every single month going into the future, right? But 9 times out of 10, when you get a new client, they are looking for bookkeeping services, not because they want to switch bookkeepers, but because they don't even have one. And that means they haven't done their bookkeeping for months or sometimes even years in the past. So this is another income opportunity that you have, but it's a little harder to predict. So I didn't want to include it on the slide showing your reoccurring income potential, but I do want to show you some examples of what it looks like when our students get new clients and they are behind in their bookkeeping. So here's an example of Kim. She joined our program on October 17th of 2022. She landed her first client about 6 weeks after starting our Bookkeeper Academy and launching her business. This client was a little bit larger, so she was able to charge $21.97 per month for ongoing monthly services. But once she started to dig into the client's books, we helped her realize that the previous bookkeeper did not do the bookkeeping for the previous months of 2022. So she was able to present those findings to her client and propose a $9,000 cleanup job. Her client gave her the go-ahead and just asked her to take that out of his account, which was awesome. So on December 16th of 2022, as you can see pictured here, which was less than 2 months after joining, she was actually able to make over $11,000 in her bookkeeping business in month 2. So her monthly maintenance fees were right in line with that $2,000 per month at the 2-month mark. But because of this cleanup job, she actually made over $11,000 in month 2. And this is really, really common. So it's very possible for you to get a client like this. Alicia, she had a cleanup job where she got $6,000. So she joined on November 18th of 2022. She spent about 3 weeks getting her business set up and ready to go, and then launched her marketing plan and got her first client on December 15th. That was 4 days after she started marketing. It only took her 4 days to get her first client once she started her marketing plan. And then this was a medium-sized client, so she charged them about $1,500 per month. But like I said, they were behind 2 years in their bookkeeping, so she was able to charge a $6,000 cleanup fee for this particular client. So before she was even done with her very first month in the academy, she made $7,500, which is really, really cool. And obviously, it's hard to predict this because it's different for every single client you get, but most of your clients are going to require some kind of cleanup job. We have one of our coaches in the academy. She also has a bookkeeping business as well, and she just got a $10,000 cleanup job last week. And then Christina, who won our social media marketing contest, she's brand new to bookkeeping, has only been in our academy for a few months, and wanted to hop into. We do contests all the time in our academy to get people, excited about doing the hard things that that are new to them, right? And Christina won our social media contest. She got a $500 cash prize from us, but she also ended up getting a client that's paying her $900 per month and a $10,800 cleanup job, which is really, really cool. So they're very, very common, anywhere from like $1,500 all the way up to $10,000. I've seen those a lot with our students over the years. Now, Jen here, she got a $32,000 cleanup job. This one is not nearly as common, although I have seen some of our students even get $75,000 cleanup jobs, which is wild. But it is possible that you could get something like this, which is exciting. It's exciting to think about. Now, obviously, it can also sound scary if you don't know how to do bookkeeping, but we help you with that. So I want to tell you a little bit about Jennifer here, and you guys can watch her interview on my podcast if you want. But Jennifer, when she first started the Academy in August 12th of 2022, the first 2 months she was in the Academy, she didn't really take a lot of action. She was kind of working on her mindset, not really feeling very confident, and we worked together to help her expand her beliefs about what is possible, what could she accomplish. And she talks a lot about that in the podcast interview. But so I just want to point out here that she got this client on December 12th, which was 4 months after joining, but she didn't even start marketing her business or really focusing on it for the first 2 months. So really from month 2 to month 4 is when she was really focusing on growing her business. And during that time span, she got 5 clients. She was almost making about $4,000 per month. And then she stumbled upon this client who ended up needing $32,000 worth of bookkeeping services, which is really, really cool. So here's a little recap of, everything that these particular ladies, this example, have earned. But just so you guys know, when these ladies got these potential clients, we help them understand how to handle all of the steps leading up to getting paid, right? But also all the steps that come after. So here's a few things just so you guys know, and I'll go over this in more detail later, but here's how some of the things that we do to help them achieve these results and also make these clients super happy, right? So we help them understand how to conduct a client discovery call. They have a script, they know how to ask all the right questions, and then we're able to help them put together a proper quote and how to propose the quote to the client so they're able to explain the value and the client will easily say yes and come on board. And then now that they have the clients that have committed and say yes, we show them how to onboard the client, how to get all the engagement letters signed. We have templates and forms that we give to you for that. And then we show you everything that you need to ask your client to give you so that you can actually complete the cleanup job. And then we show you how to break the cleanup job down into manageable step-by-step process so that way you can get through learning how to do the cleanup job for this client and then also learning how to complete the monthly bookkeeping work. So that way you can have these results as well, even if you've never done bookkeeping before. We are going to help you do this. And our goal is to help you do such a great job for these clients that they refer other people to you, which is what happens a lot of times to our students. But also, the most important thing out of everything that we teach our students is how to find these clients in the first place. And as you guys know, that is called marketing. So we give our students the opportunity to choose what marketing that they want to do, but we have three main methods that we teach our students to get clients. Now, all three of these methods have been proven to get our students from zero to $100,000 in their first year in business. Even if you only choose to do one, you can still reach that goal. But obviously, if you do all three, you're gonna just solidify that those results and be also to maybe even potentially reach that result and that goal faster. But you can choose to do whichever ones of these, fits better for your schedule. And typically, people in our program only spend about 30 to 60 minutes per day on their marketing. Obviously, if you can spend more time on marketing in the beginning, that's going to be great. You'll be able to reach your goals faster, but the key is consistency. So if you can spend 30 to 60 minutes per day working on your marketing, you're going to be able to reach your goals. So the first method that we teach is organic social media marketing. So we help you utilize the platforms you are already most familiar with so that you can find and connect with business owners. So, for example, on Facebook, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Instagram, that kind of stuff. We show you also how to post content that actually gets business owners interested in reaching out to you. So, you don't have to DM people or cold message people, although that sometimes works really well in our industry too, because people want to hear from us. They need help in this area. Actually, I had a student named Elena who knew of about 11 different people on Instagram that had businesses. So she sent out 11 messages, probably took her like 5 minutes to do that. Three of those people responded back and wanted to book a call with her, which is really great. But we're going to show you how to post content that actually attracts business owners to want to reach out to you and then book a discovery call so they can learn more about your services, which is really cool. The other cool thing about social media marketing is that there is typically no investment involved, which is really great. So the second marketing option we have for students is joining networking groups. We show you how to find virtual or in-person networking groups where business owners hang out. And then we help you create a strategy when attending these groups so you know exactly how to make the most use of your time and how to get clients from these groups. But we're also going to show you how you can not only get referrals from the group, but establish referral partnerships. And then that way, these people will actually be doing marketing for you because they're going to be referring their clients, their friends, and their family to you for bookkeeping services as well. So some of these groups are free, but most of them do have an investment. For example, I joined an industry exclusive group, cost me about $500 for an annual membership, but I made over $60,000 in my first year of being a member of that group. So this group actually also turned into a second little family for me, which was awesome. And I really looked forward to going each week. Of course, we teach you all about this entire strategy in our academy as well. Then we also show you how to get clients doing email marketing. So the first step we help our students with is gathering a large list of business owners and then also a large list of tax offices. And then from there, we're going to show you how to deploy email campaigns to both of these so that way you can not only get new clients, but also develop partnerships with these tax offices. So again, if you guys don't know, every business owner has to have their bookkeeping done in order to get their taxes filed. A lot of tax offices are either overloaded during tax season and don't have time for the bookkeeping, or they don't like to do the bookkeeping. So they usually offload the bookkeeping piece of it to bookkeeping partners. So we show you how to find tax offices that are looking for bookkeepers that need help. We show you how to arrange that referral relationship, and then you can easily get clients sent to you with little to no effort at all for years and years to come, which is really, really great. So we help you understand how to create that strategic relationship. Now, this marketing investment for the email marketing can also be a $0 investment, and it can be manual. But if you decide to invest in some programs, 50 to 100 bucks, or 150 bucks per month, those can be something that you can utilize on a short-term basis to get this going. So still a very low marketing investment. So I'm curious, after watching that, which marketing methods will you choose? So type a 1 in the chat for social media, 2 for networking groups, 3 for email marketing, or type a 4 if you're planning on doing all of the above. Yes, Julie, all of the above. I love it. All right. 4 for Beverly, and David's going to do all of it. Yay, I love it. Awesome. Okay. So 1 and 3. Awesome. I love that. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little secret sneak peek. Okay. There goes my web around. I am getting ready on December 18th. I'm going to be rolling out a program that our Academy members are going to have sneak peek access to. So from now until the 18th, anyone in the Academy is going to get the chance to sign up for this first. So if you want to join the Academy, so you can get first access to this new program I'm rolling out, you want to hop in there, but then we'll be opening it up to everybody else later. But what we're going to be doing is also, in addition to teaching you guys all of this marketing, we're going to start generating some leads for you. So my 2024 initiative is to help our students get clients by actually giving them clients. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I have not even told anyone in the Academy yet, except for some of our back to school special people. So you guys are hearing it firsthand. But I'm going to be announcing that here pretty soon. But anybody in the Academy is going to get first access to that. And the people that decide to opt into that program are going to be able to get into our list in order of being able to get hand-delivered leads right to their inbox. So that's going to be really, really exciting, what we're going to be working on next year too. But it's still very important to me that you guys learn how to do marketing, because if you understand how to do marketing for your clients, for your business, you will always be in control of the money that comes into your family. Anytime you need more money, all you will have to do is turn on your marketing. You can get new clients, have more money, which is really, really, really awesome. If you haven't heard the story before, I had a student named Robin. She lived in Alaska. She homeschooled her 5 kids, and she started her bookkeeping business as a side hustle to just make a little bit of money to help with bills and groceries and stuff. And she took her kids to the dentist, and one of her daughters needed about $1,800 worth of dental work. And she got home and she was like, what am I going to do? I don't have the money for this dental work. And she was like, I'm just going to sit down and do some marketing and see if I can get a new couple clients. And so she did some marketing. She ended up having a guy book a discovery call on her calendar for later that week. She got on the call with him, ended up looking into his books, and gave him a quote. The quote ended up being $1,800 when she put it into the quoting tool. And so she was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And so she was able to kind of manifest that money as needed. And you guys will be able to do that too. And all it takes is understanding how marketing works, which is really cool. But now that I've kind of gone over all of the details, the results that you can get with a bookkeeping business why and how it's possible, and then exactly how you're going to be able to get these clients. Would you like to see how we support our students to help them achieve these results and achieve their goals? So put a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if you are interested to see exactly what our team offers when we help our students do this. All right, Alexis is ready. Kathy's ready. David's ready. Awesome. Okay, so we run some of our support out of a private members only Facebook group. You may currently have access to our free group that's pictured here, but we have a small private group called the Piece of Cake Support Group. And in there, we have about 200 students in their first year for an awesome sense of community. It's really nice to be able to collaborate with the other people that are growing their bookkeeping business, have that sense of community for people that are on the same journey in their business and in their life. But we also have over 30 students that are in their second, third, fourth, and about to be going on, into their fifth year of growing their bookkeeping businesses, for those of them that have been started with us right at the very beginning. And they're all in there still too, a lot of them. So you'll be able to collaborate with them, learn from them. And then a lot of times they do some guest coaching, which is really, really cool. So like Jen and all the ladies that I shared, their cleanup jobs and the previous slides are in there. Kaylee Douglas, who went to my tropical mastermind, who you may see on the podcast, she's still in there and those kind of things. So it's pretty cool. But we also have 8 to 10 coaches, mentors, and team members that are all experts in either growing a business, doing bookkeeping, marketing, mindset, sales, all that kind of stuff, taxes, and you're going to have access to all of those people as well. So the first thing that you need to know is that we treat our Facebook group like a ticketing system. So for every question you post or submit, we answer all of them, and they can be related to any topic you can think of. Some examples are sales, marketing, quoting, QuickBooks Online questions, technical bookkeeping, technical tax questions, workflow, mindset, anything you can think of. It all affects your business. So we help answer every single question. Now, when you post a question, we answer them during these hours, and we also track the time. So we have, it says 45-minute average response time on every question, but the last couple months, it's been like 32 minutes. So I do require my team to have at least a 60-minute response time on every question, but they love to see how quick they can get to every single question. So a lot of times it's around 30 to 32 minutes average response time. So we answer questions Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time, Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. And then Saturday, we do have a slower response rate just because there's not as many questions that are asked, so we don't have as much staff available. But if you do ask a question outside of these hours, like for example on Sunday or maybe at 9 p.m. at night, then we do answer that question. It just gets answered at the beginning of the next shift. So this is really awesome for you because you can get a quick answer to anything that you need that is keeping you stuck. And that helps you move to the next best task so that you can work on accomplishing your goals in a quick and streamlined manner. And then you can use that extra time that you didn't waste, feeling confused or Googling things or researching. You can spend that extra time now with your family or focusing on getting to that next goal in your business. So here's an example of a screenshot that I have my team send to me showing exactly how many questions have been asked. We call them tickets. And then how quickly that they were able to actually answer all the questions and resolve all the questions as well. Because sometimes it does require us to ask you some questions before we can fully explain what you're looking for. And we want to make sure that you guys fully understand the answer to your question. So response time is our initial response time. Resolution time is when the question has been fully explained and we know that you are completely satisfied with the answer. So for this particular week, it was a 65-minute resolution time on average for all questions, which is really amazing. Then we also have 7 to 8 Zoom calls every week, sometimes more. The main ones are scheduled for Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Time, Wednesday at 7 p.m., Friday 4 p.m. The Monday and Friday calls are focusing all around mindset. They are hosted by our team member, Robin. She's based out of Canada, and she has a bookkeeping business as well. Her and her husband made $20,000 in the first 3 months of launching their bookkeeping business. And she's also a mindset and parenting coach. So she coaches our Monday and Friday calls, and she helps you overcome what's blocking you. So a lot of times when we start a business, there's usually some kind of limiting belief or something that could be holding us back just by the way that we're thinking, our thought process. So she helps everyone overcome that, so that way they can get on to working on exactly what they need to do to actually have these results. And the rest of the calls are what we call office hours. So they are basically open Q&A. So you can get on and ask any question that you can think of, whether you're in the beginning stages or you've been in the program for 12 months, you can get on and ask any questions. So you get to kind of learn from other people too that have been in the program for a while and see what kind of questions that they're going to ask. The only thing is keeping in mind that when you get on these calls, every single person that's on those calls have been in your shoes at one point or another. So remember that when you hear other people asking questions and you're thinking, this is a foreign language, what are they talking about? You will soon be in their shoes as well, because you're going to learn so much when you get your first client, which is really exciting. You're also going to get access to our client success team members. We have a director and also Christy, our accountability coach, and they're going to support you one-on-one over email and texting and even phone calls if needed. So they're going to give you a step-by-step process from day 1 through day 365. So you always know exactly what you need to be working on to help you reach your goals. So we're going to find out what your goals are when you come into the program, because everybody has different goals. And then we're going to help you do the things that you need to do to reach your goal, which is really awesome. And then if you do have questions, she'll help support you to the quickest and best support option, depending on what you need help with. And of course, she's super motivational and supportive, which is really awesome. But back to the thing about having questions. If there is a particular training or something that we think you should watch, we will point you to the coursework that you need to be watching. So when you get in the academy, you're going to get access to a ton of coursework and lessons and all sorts of things that you're going to have forever access to a lot of this stuff, but it's not going to be the best use of your time to sit and watch hundreds of hours of coursework when you get started. So you'll have access to all of this, and our team is going to say, hey, I think it's about time that you watch this lesson, or this is the one that you need to do. So it really helps to maximize your time. And then we provide that safety net, helping you through completing the work for your clients until you know all of this stuff, which is really great. So I'm going to go over the journey in the Bookkeeper Academy, what that kind of looks like for an average student. But in the meantime, can you guys drop in the chat if you have any questions about how we support our students? So typically what it looks like when someone enrolls in the academy, if you guys enroll in the academy today, you're going to spend your first couple of weeks going through a few videos and trainings and learning how to set up your business back office. So that way you are physically ready for clients. You'll be able to take their payment and you'll be able to communicate them over email and stuff like that. So we're going to show you everything that you need to do to set up your business back office, and you'll be able to get that completely done within the first couple of weeks. Then you're also going to watch some trainings on the basics of bookkeeping and the basics of business ownership. So you kind of have a general idea of what you're doing here. And then you're going to watch some trainings on how to provide amazing service to your clients. What does bookkeeping look like? What does the day-to-day, month-to-month process look like as a bookkeeping business owner? And what are your clients going to be expecting from you? So we're going to show you a walkthrough of bookkeeping and exactly how all of that looks. And then from there, between all of that and working with our team, you're going to be able to now communicate intelligently with a potential client, be able to know enough about bookkeeping and about what you're going to be doing to be able to have a conversation with a business owner about your services. And then we're going to give you a script and show you how to conduct a potential client discovery call. So if you are talking with someone and they're like, yeah, I'm really interested in this. Can we schedule a time to kind of go over this so you can give me a quote? You're going to know exactly how to run that call and exactly what questions to ask. So all of that happens within the first couple of weeks. Then we're going to have you move right on to marketing. So we're going to show you how to develop and launch your marketing plan. And then as you start implementing your marketing, we want to help support you, give you feedback on your process, and help you tweak it in case anything needs to be changed or altered. A lot of people sometimes have misconceptions about marketing, and we want to make sure that you are doing it exactly how we suggest, so that way we can make sure that you get these results. So, for example, sometimes people think if you email 10 people one time that you should get a client from that. But really, what needs to happen is you probably need to email 250 people 10 times before you get a client out of it. So, we want to make sure that your expectations with marketing are right in line with like really how to get results. So, all of this happens just within the first month of the academy. And then after that, we typically see by month 2 at the latest, these clients, these students that are taking this action, then they're able to enroll their first few clients within the first month or so of being in the academy. And then from here is where we help you with learning how to onboard the clients, learning how to do the cleanup jobs, and then doing the actual bookkeeping work. We work hand in hand with you on understanding how to do all of that because we want you to do such a great job for your client that your client is going to be impressed, tell all of his bookkeeping or his business owner friends about you, and then send you referrals, which is, it happens. It really happens. So it's our goal to help you do a great job that you really impress your new clients. And then, of course, that way in month 3 through 12, you're going to be rinsing and repeating. You're going to continue onboarding and working with new clients. We're going to help you become an expert bookkeeper over that 12-month time period. And then this will give you a chance to work with clients from all industries. You won't have to turn anybody away because we're going to provide that safety net for you and give you a chance to work with lots of different types of businesses. This is going to help you set the foundation for a profitable business that gives you that financial location and time freedom that you guys are looking for. So the next steps then in the program is to be able to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share a couple of links with you for those of you that are ready to go, but I would love to know what questions that you guys have for me so far right now. What questions can I answer? I'm going to drop some links in the chat. And then I'm going to explain and go over these links as well. So I put 3 links in the chat. The first one is if you want to go through our lender and do the funding, you'll want to click that first link. Now, it is for US-based students only. So I don't know if anybody is from Canada or the UK on this call right now, but if you're in the US and you want to go through funding, all you need to do is have $640 available as your down payment and make sure you can make the $640 payment at least for the next few months while we help you build up your business. If you're ready for that, you can go ahead and click that first link, and then the lender will immediately approve you. It takes about 5 minutes to fill the link out, and then you'll know within a couple of hours from the lender what the next steps are. They have you book a call, make your down payment, sign a few forms, and then you're going to be ready to onboard into the academy, which is really awesome. If you're from Canada, it is based on your credit, unfortunately. So, but if you are in Canada and you want to apply, you can apply by clicking that link. If you just want to go ahead and just come into the academy just by paying with a credit card or your bank account information, we have 2 options for you. You can put a $3,000 down payment to get into the academy right away, and then we can split the remaining $9,000 up over either a 9 or 12 monthly payments, or you can go ahead and click that last link if you just want to pay the $12,000 in full, and we can get you onboarded and get started today. So Sean is going to be reaching out to everybody. Sean's my husband. He's going to be reaching out to everybody. So that way you guys have these links handy right on your phone, and then you'll be able to text or call him if you have any questions at all. on this whole process. But again, we'd love to see you in the academy, and I'd love to know if any of you guys do happen to have questions. Yeah, so does anybody have questions? Bessie, Beverly, Brittany, Connie, any of you guys have questions? What about you, David? I know that you applied for funding. Are you planning on going that route still? What does that look like for you? Alexis, what did you think about this entire presentation and the thought of starting a bookkeeping business? I know that you were totally new, one of our newer people. Julie, I'm excited for you. You're about ready to get in and get all squared away. And what about what about the rest of you guys? So, um, okay, great. So Alexis is wanting to follow, jump in the next few months. So that sounds great. No questions yet. Julie is all in. Thank you so much, Beverly. I appreciate the compliment. I've worked very hard on that presentation, just to make sure it answers all of your questions, but it's real clear on exactly what this whole process looks like. Yes, Brittany says, I want to jump in at the beginning of the year. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Um, awesome. I'm so glad. You know, my main goal is so that you guys can understand that you have options, right? Like if you're feeling stuck or you're not happy with your current job, your finances, your schedule, things like that, you have options. There is a way out of that. And I'm happy and excited to provide this option. Yeah, you can always jump back on to Brittany. If this is something that is for you guys, then I'm glad to be able to provide this as an option for you guys to reach your goals. So, if you guys are working on securing that, $640 down payment, definitely see if you can get creative, figure out how you can rearrange some things so that you can utilize some funds to get in and get started. And that way, you guys can really capitalize on tax season as well. I'm really excited. This tax season is going to be great. David said he's going to start his bookkeeping business next month. I love that. I love that. How exciting. It's going to be really fun to work with all of you. And I'm really excited to help you guys reach your goals. Every single person on here had wonderful goals to strive for, and every single one of them are very doable, that you can definitely accomplish those things, even within your first year of starting a business, which I'm really excited about. So again, Sean's going to reach out to all of you guys. That way you guys have the recording if you need access to this recording. And if you decide to go through funding or pay in full directly, you'll have those links as well. But don't hesitate to let us know if you think of any questions in the meantime. You're always welcome to text Sean, give him a call, or hop back on my calls at any point in time if you guys have more questions. So thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday morning with me. And I look forward to seeing you guys all in the academy soon. All right. Bye. Have a great weekend.